to get me recognition.
Rod Vazan Holdings proudly presents Warwick Radio with 5-decade fight trainer, Coach James Gogue.
Guys, welcome. Happy Tuesday to all of you guys. Customarily on Tuesday, we usually feature our friend Ronnie Shields, but he's on the way to, the bitter cold of Minneapolis. He's got a date with Destiny and the final Showtime bout this Saturday night with Dave Morrell Jr. We're going to talk about that, as well as Bam Rodriguez and Sonny Edwards in our main event of the evening tonight. But guys, first, there would be no Warwick Radio without this gentleman's tutelage. And I'm talking about the incomparable James Gogue. James, how you doing tonight, sir?
Hey, Joe, I'm doing good. They had a good little scrap that was on ESPN this Saturday that exceeded everybody's expectations. The upset of the year, the fight of the year.
Yep. And
we had a one-sided mismatch where everybody thought it was going to be a lot close on the zone. I didn't think so. Last week I told you that, man. That
what
Haney was just too fast, more athletic, better footwork, better jab, quicker hands, sharper combination puncher, sharper counter puncher, faster to the draw, better reflexes. Okay, Haney boxed beautifully, understands distance like Shakir, and knows when to take that step back, okay? When you're trying to get off offensively, he knows when to take that step back just to get out of your range. If he has to take 2 steps back, a half a step back, or even 3 steps back, okay? He'll do that, okay? That's a smart, intelligent fighter. See, you motherfuckers listening out there, footwork, defense starts with your footwork. It ain't keeping your hands up and blocking punches with your face like Jaime Menguia or Miguel Burchell. Okay, that's their defense. Blocking punches with their face. Defense starts with footwork. That's your foundation to move in and out of range, to circle around your opponent, to keep turning them, especially a puncher like Progress, to move at angles, okay? So he keeps turning, so he can't get a clean shot off on you. But it's that in and out, okay? So you can't be in range when the guy's about to get off. You can sense it. That Haney, he's got great reflexes. He can sense when Progress is going to try to throw a jab or throw a combination. He'll sense that. He'll see it. That little red light will come on. Will turn on it. Will turn on in his head, like Wilfredo Benitez. He's got great. They call him El Radar, the radar. He's got radar right there where he can sense where you're going to throw punches, and he knows his range. He knows if he's too close, he could get hit with these punches because he knows his range. But he also knows his distance where to step back. Okay, just to get out of range, not step back and 4 or 5 feet out of range. Just this much, Joe. Take a step back, stuck the back. So when he throws the punches, he'll just miss by this much. That's a guy that has a good sense of distance, knowing the range his opponent can hit him, and knowing the range where he has to step back, where to get out of that range, but not overly do it like some guys do, man. They'll step back out of range and they'll take 10 steps. You know what I mean? You don't need that. Haney used great economical footwork, okay? I call it, you know what I mean? He wasn't running. It was intelligent boxing 101 at the advanced level, not this bullshit amateur or basic shit, okay? He used it on the elite level. Okay, he knew, like I said, every time Progress tried to get off, that little red light would turn on his head. Okay, time to take a step back just to get out of range, to make him miss that much. And when he do that, he'd make him miss. Progress get frustrated, say that, and he hit him back on that jab, back on that straight right hand. Or he would step back and catch him in with counters, setting traps. That's a smart fighter, Joe. A guy that thinks out there, okay, that knows how to set traps. Okay. And, stuff like that, man, I saw it, man. But anytime, like I said, he has that good sense of range and distance. He knows, okay, I'm gonna straight right hand's gonna land. Boom. He don't even need to measure him with the jab. Okay, to fight. A lot of fighters need to measure. To find their range, the correct range. They need to flip that jab out there or hit them, hit their opponent with a good jab to get a good sense on where they're at. But not Haney, man. He's got that feel, okay, where he knows he's close enough to land that right hand without measuring him, okay, with that jab and everything. Stuff like that, man. That's what do you call it? It's a lot of God-given. A lot of that's God-given, okay. A lot of that's having a good feel, when you're in the ring with your opponent and all of a sudden, boom. Oh, that's what he knocked Regis down. I think the third round, wasn't it, Joe?
I'm not sure which round it was because I was calling a fight that night. I still haven't even seen the whole thing.
Yeah, it was the third round. I think he caught him just straight right hand.
Yes, round number 3. That's right.
Yeah, he didn't even expect it, man. Boom, out of nowhere. Boom. Yeah, he didn't even measure him. He didn't even measure him to make sure his distance is right. He was just lulling. What's that word, Joe? Lulling him.
Yeah, lulling him to sleep.
Yeah, lulling him to sleep. Just keeping his head steady. He was just lulling him to sleep, keeping his head steady. And Regis was just sitting there looking at him like. Then all of a sudden, boom! You know what I mean? One second, Joe.
No problem, guys.
Hey,
I tell
I'm
you
on my
what.
radio show. I'll call you in an hour, okay? Telephone. Thanks. Bye-bye. Sorry,
Guys,
Joe, that was an
remember-
important call I had to take, man. Sorry, people.
No problem, brother. No problem.
I was trying to get a hold of him all day, and he called back, so I just returned his call. But anyway, yeah, man, that Haney, like I said, he's physically gifted. Athleticism, you can't, that's God-given. Hand speed, reflexes, then, his boxing IQ, knowing when to set traps, knowing to counter punch, knowing when to, use his jab, knowing when to use his footwork, knowing when to pivot around you. Regis is a good fighter too, but he made him look like but that type of style, when we talked about it last week, Joe, I didn't even need to watch fucking film. I didn't watch 1 ounce of film when I told you how the fight was going to play out, and I was right. Yeah. But anyway.
Well, usually are, Coach.
Well, yeah. I got a good percentage. And I called it right. I said, man, it's going to be Haney, man.
You thought it was so one-sided that you didn't even want to talk about it last Sunday.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk about it. Yeah, you're right, Joe. You call me, I'm like, man, that's going to be one-sided, man. I don't think it's... A lot of motherfuckers thought it was a 50-50 fight.
Oh, geez.
The fuck
well, look, and even Emmanuel noticed this. Probably about only 10% of all boxing diehard fans, guys who think they're experts, actually know what they're looking at in the ring. And I'm happy to say those 10% watch your show every single week.
Hey, Joe, you know what? I've been saying that for years. I said a lot of guys watch film, but they don't know what they're looking for. They don't know what to look for, or they don't know what they're looking at. Okay.
Well, anyone who's go ahead, sir.
My motherfucking 40 years in this shit, I know what to look for. I know what to look. I know what I'm looking at, and I know what to look for. Okay.
Yep. I tell you what, guys, we are planning something. Hopefully, we can work this out. We're planning something huge. I can already announce though our next 2 dates. We just had a fight with South Park Boxing, and boy, it was a classic. 12 featured bouts. That's why I didn't watch any of the fights. I just now watched the replay of Rabisi Ramirez getting beaten.
Hey,
Can
Joe,
you hear me okay? Can you hear me?
What was that? South Park Boxing? What's that?
Yeah. It's actually AAA Promotions, but the organizer of the event is South Park Boxing and Rick Nunez. Well, I tell you what, we put on a doozy. Yes, sir.
Was that some East LA Cholo gang boxing promotion?
Well, I tell you what, it didn't look like that at the social spot in San Antonio, Texas. We had 12 featured bouts, and all of them delivered, guys. Everyone is still buzzing. I want to thank my brother, Rodney Green, for making it out to the show, as well as the boxing scholar, Brandon. And yeah, they are all saying, you know what? That was one of the best cards, if not the best, we've seen all year.
Okay.
From start to finish.
All right.
It was outstanding. Yes, and we're already scheduling. Well, we've already scheduled on January 20th. I'm trying to get it moved to the 27th. But yeah, TMB Promotions. That's going to be our next event. And guys, if you're in the South Texas area, please come and join us. We're throwing a big party with Dave & Buster's. If you don't want to pay for Merry Christmas, if you don't want to pay for Day of Reckoning, come watch it for free at Dave & Buster's in San Antonio, Texas. And we might have a little surprise for you. And we'll be announcing that later on if it all works out. I'm crunching the numbers right now. But guys, we've got a special Christmas gift coming to you if you're in South Texas. Just drive up to San Antonio. And yeah, it's going to be a big, big event. And I can't wait, guys. I'm going to be hosting it with a lot of my fighters there. Well, I'll say all of my fighters because we want to see this. I can't announce it yet. But yeah, it looks like everything. This is going to be beautiful, guys. So stay tuned. But yeah, and so listen to this, though. It was an outdoor venue, Coach. And obviously they made Rick Nunez an offer he couldn't refuse. And so we staged the fight outdoors in 40-degree weather. I was out there calling the fight for 5.5 hours, calling the entire event.
I did one
so
at a baseball stadium.
No. It's an outdoor club, but we crammed 4,500 people in that area, guys. That is the biggest club show that we've had all year.
True story, Joe.
Yes,
Back
sir.
in, I was at 94, I think, December. We fought outside in a baseball park in Monterrey, Mexico, when we fought Julio Cesar Chavez. My guy, Tony Lopez.
Yeah. Yep.
It was like, I don't know, 40,000 there, and it was freaking cold, man. Oh, yeah. In December now. Yeah.
That was the Don King card, wasn't it?
Yeah. He had 18 fights. The first fight started at 1 o'clock. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
5 world title fights. Yeah, incredible. Ricardo Finito Lopez, Tito Felix, Tito Trinidad, Jorge Castro, and when he knocked out John David Jackson. Man, I probably missed a few. I missed one. Yeah, there was 5 world title fights, man. It was crazy. Yeah.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
You want to hear a true story, Joe?
Let's hear it, brother.
I never told you this one, man. Man, I got so many in my fucking head. All of a sudden, I'm remembering this shit. I try to keep it suppressed because a lot of the memories ain't too good, okay? But anyway, I remember that, man. We were training up in Big Bear Lake for this fight. Just me, Tony, and this other guy, his helper. And what happened was, and the sparring partners, I had Carlos Formosa Hernandez when he was just starting off, and this other tough guy named Raul Hernandez. Oh, motherfucker was tough. That Raul Hernandez, he had a record of like 14-32. You think he would be a pushover? Fuck no. He was some tough, ballsy sparring. Everybody hired that motherfucker. De La Hoya, Shane Mosley, they all hired that guy for sparring. Yeah, but anyway, we were training up there in the mountains. 2 weeks for the fight, King calls the camp and tells us they want us in Monterey 10 days before the fight. I'm like, man, I don't want to break camp that early. Let's do it like 6-7 days. He goes, oh no, we gotta come. Tickets ain't going too good, and we got to do a lot of promotion. I go, how many tickets have they sold? I was talking to somebody in King's office. Guess how many tickets they sold, Joe?
What's up?
2,500.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
So Don goes, hey, that ain't Don King. You say what you say about Don, but he still wants asses in the seats. Okay, he's a promoter, a real promoter.
Yep.
So we got there to Monterey, man. Man, as soon as we got off the fucking plane, the whole press is, on us, interviewing us. The next day, boy, it was like 3 press conferences a day at the hotel, at a meet and greet place, open workout. At the open workout, we had over 5,000 people at that baseball parking lot. Yeah, man, it was crazy. And we just constant promotion, and We went on all the local TV shows, the radio shows, made appearances at the mall. Man, and that I don't even think Julio, man, he just did the minimum possible. But me, Tony, and our crew, we did pretty much everything. And what happened was, it started creating a lot of buzz, all over the city, man. Yeah. By Thursday, then everybody knew Chavez was in town. And let me tell you, we walk around town and, we see Julio. And let me tell you, Julio was like the second coming of Christ back then. When he walked outside, crowds, like, you know what I mean? Just gathered around him like Jesus came again. Okay, I'm serious, Joe. People would come, yeah, man, we were walking around and we're like, what's going on? Well, that's Julio Chavez. And people went crazy. I mean, just, man, people coming out of everywhere. I'm like, oh my God, it's getting around town, man, the buzz. And we had a press conference a day before the win, 2.5 hour press conference, Don King. Yeah. And if you guys, let me tell you about a Don King press conference back in the days. He encourages the fighters to insult each other. Okay. To verbally abuse each other. Yeah. I mean, that was probably the greatest press conference greatest and funniest press conference I ever been to. And King was up there talking. Oh boy, that boy could talk, man.
Yeah,
2.5 hours, Joe.
Yep, that's what I was gonna say. Sometimes his press conference, because of Don's gift of gab, will last well over 2 hours.
Yep. Then the next day, the weigh-in was crazy, man. Oh, everybody knew the weigh-in was going on. Everybody knew Julio was there, and man, it was and they all packed in this little fucking room at a Holiday. I think it was the Crown Plaza over there, and I don't want to say nothing, but anyway, man, something happened, man. We'll talk about that behind closed doors.
Come on, Coach, you're just among friends. Let it fly, brother. Yeah.
Well, all I gotta say is I weighed Tony right before we went to the weigh-in. He weighed 140 on the money. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden he gets on the scale over there. He's 138.
Oh, come on.
You figure it out.
That happens,
okay,
guys. Now,
all right, but anyway, leave it like that.
Yep, there's so many ways, Coach, to actually help.
Yeah, but Joe, let me finish my story.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so the weigh-in went great, man. There was a lot of because of that scale incident, man. We didn't think he made weight.
Yep.
But anyway, the big old fuss, man. Suleiman and Tony's dad were getting into it and all that shit, and everybody was and King was encouraging that. He was like, yeah. The next day of the fight, guess how many people turned out, Joe? 40,000.
Wow.
From 2,500. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say, all you guys listening out there. That's how you supposed to promote and publicize the show. Nowadays, these motherfucking promoters, Joe, all they do is, they're not promoters, they're just middlemen. All they do is, I got my fighter. He got his fighter. We'll go to a casino where they could give us a site fee, and they don't even give a shit about promoting or selling tickets.
Yep, that's
right.
But
you guys do, Joe. You guys are doing it the right way.
That's why during fight week, guys, it's very difficult to do all the shows, and then afterwards, I am just tired and combined now with bronchitis and a sinus infection. Yeah, I've been beat up, and so now from San Antonio, Texas, I'm coming to you live with Vicks and antihistamines.
Hey Joe, but you promoted the show, right? Okay,
we promote the hell out of it, man.
Let me tell you this, man.
Look, there's Gogue. Let me say this first. That Gogue's story and what we are doing in San Antonio, it's a testament to there's no substitute for beating your feet and shaking a lot of hands. You've got to get out there and get this product to the people.
Let me tell you, man, Don and Lorraine Chargan, okay, they did 5,000 shows?
Yep. Never be broken. That's the Pete Rose of boxing.
In their prime, when they were doing shows at the Olympic, from 1964 to 1984, Don did one show a week, okay? Yep. And during that week, he would promote 2 or 3 others. Now, I remember asking Don, it was a long time ago. I said, Don, man, you did one show, man. Ain't that enough? He goes, well, I had to do 2 or 3 others out of necessity. I go, why? He goes, James, back then there were so many fighters we had that wanted to fight at the Olympic. I couldn't keep everybody busy. So I had to do all these club shows all over Southern Cal the week of the fight just to keep everybody busy. And over time, over 20 years, man, it went into the thousands. That's how many fighters they had back then, Joe. Could you believe that?
Yes, I can believe that, because boxing was the biggest pastime in the American market other than baseball at that time.
It was in the golden years. Let me tell you a story. Don would do shows in the LA, and Lorraine would have to drive up to Oakland, San Francisco, or Sacramento and do her shows in the Bay Area. In Northern California. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Yep. They told me all that. That's amazing. That's incredible. It's a testament to, once again, they don't do it like that anymore. Well, that's what we're trying to do in San Antonio. We had 3 signed prospects on the card. Rick Nunez was supposed to be the main event. Ricky Nunez Jr. He got the flu. So we featured 3, and I'll tell you what, all 3 didn't disappoint. Great action from top to bottom. It was by far, this may be the best regional show that I've ever been a part of.
Hey, no mismatches though, huh, Joe?
No mismatches. They all delivered, and in fact, we were criticized for sticking guys in tough. 4 of the B sides actually won their bouts.
Hey, Joe, the people that were complaining, did they fight for Heyman?
No. No. But we actually challenged them. Well, at least we tried to anyway. 2 of them. Oh my gosh. There's a kid by the name of Juan Guajardo Jr. He goes by the name of Gordo. This kid is campaigning at 140, and he punches like a light heavyweight. Like the first left hook to the liver, this guy you could see on his face. And we brought him in from Wichita Falls. He, as soon as he felt this kid's power, he was, oh my gosh, you could see it in his face. And I'm trying to get the link right now so I can share it with all of you guys.
Was that guy from San Antonio, the guy that could punch like a mule?
No, he's from the Valley. No. He's from Laredo.
What's his name? Juan
Guajardo Jr.
How old is he?
I think he's 19, 20.
How many pro fights has he had?
This was just his second.
He's a novice, man. Yeah.
Well, every time the last time we put him in, he knocked this guy out in the first round.
Yeah, Joe, but the thing is, you can't depend on, he's going to be power hungry and depend on his power. But when he fights tougher guys that can take his punch, that's when when he needs skills.
Exactly. And that's what we're trying to cultivate. But this kid, we need to find someone who can actually take his best shot. And that's
I've seen a lot of fucking tough punchers, man.
Yep.
A lot of real good punchers. All of a sudden, you put them in a fight where the guy could take their shit, and they're in a fight. They ain't so comfortable. It ain't so one-sided no more.
Well, we experienced that too. One of our big ticket sellers, he has no chance of going to the next level. This is just a big, fun, tough guy to watch, right? He's a big bruiser. He was what's his name? The Juggernaut. Let me pull it up real quick. Hold on.
Joe Joyce?
No. No.
He can't fight either.
No, his name was Bobby Tenorio. He is a huge ticket seller, and I thought I was giving him a layup by picking a guy 0-2, still looking for his first fight, 3 years as a pro, for his first win, rather. We stick him in, and this guy, I don't know what he did, but he took his best shot, came coming forward, and knocked out the Juggernaut flat on his ass. Yeah, the crowd was very disappointed, but oh well. That's a theater of the unexpected. It happens. So that was one of the teams that was really pissed off about our matchmaking. But look, if you can't beat a guy who's 0-2, then that's just the way it goes, huh?
Wasn't Tapia, Robert Tapia, picking the fights?
No, it was Rick Nunez and I this time.
Okay.
Yep. Robert Tapia, he usually does the matchmaking. He wasn't available. So, we had to scramble. There were a lot of guys who didn't make weight. But anyway, guys, we'll talk about that more off the air, Gogue. We don't want to bore everyone with all of this. But, guys, Devin Haney wipes out Regis Prograis in a one-sided mismatch. Well, look, guys, styles make fights. Look, I will say this. Let me ask you, Coach. Everyone is calling this a masterpiece. Is that going a little too overboard, or is that accurate? Was it Regis Prograis and once again, after the Daniel Zorrilla fight or Zorrita fight, Danielito Zorrilla, I don't think anyone should have been really high on Regis Prograis' chances. This was a terrible style matchup, guys. This is exactly why Devin Haney took this fight, and this is why I couldn't find a sexy bet on the odds because, well, I couldn't find a way to make you guys money. That's it. Guys, look, styles make fights. Let me ask you something, Gogue. Prograis, how would he fare against Subriel Matias?
Better style matchup. Matias comes right at you. Okay.
Yep.
And he'll eventually that pressure eventually break him down, but he'll, you know what I mean? He'll look a lot better than what he did against Haney because the totally opposite style he's going to be facing. So
and how would Devin Haney fare against Subriel Matias?
Ooh, that movement might cause some, Subriel. That jab is going to, early on, Haney, his feet are going to be fresh. He's going to be able to box, move, counter, fast, sharp jab, sharp counters, step back counters. Keep turning them, get in the pocket. He ain't going to fight in the pocket. He's going to, tie him up, and he's going to try to do that as long as possible, okay? Keep the fight at distance and just, pot shot him, pick him apart. Bust him up with that jab, catch him with them quick, them sharp right hands, the uppercuts coming in, okay? Because Matias comes in like this, square, and he's made for that uppercut if you know how to set the right trap. And he's going to be turning them. A guy like Matias, he needs to set his feet to let his punches go. He needs to set his feet to get leverage on his shot. So he's going to keep turning and turning. Haney's going to keep turning and turning Matias, so he can't set his feet, so he can't get get into rhythm to get that momentum going. Okay, and he's just going to box him as long as he can, and just pretty much the same type of game plan he used against Prograis. Just like I said, superior athlete, quicker hands, sharp combinations. Sharp counters. He could pull the trigger faster than Matias, but guess what? As the fight goes down, man, you got to keep this pit bull off you, man. Matias, he's relentless. He's in tip-top condition because he trains in that high altitude right outside of Mexico City, Jicopilco, and he knows how to cut that distance off. Okay, he knows how to keep you a stationary target, like he did that Taliban guy he fought. Okay.
And exactly. My point is, guys, don't get too carried away. Now, Devin Haney looks like, from what I saw, I just watched the highlights. From what I saw, guys, he looks to be entering his fighting prime, and he took advantage of a very favorable style matchup. A guy who's 33. That should be prime time for anybody. But Regis, he hasn't been active.
Yeah, Joe, but look, Matias, he knows how to put that fast pressure on you, okay?
Exactly.
First round, he's feeling you out, getting into rhythm, seeing what you got. As the rounds go on, he starts in his mind. He starts figuring out what he has to do, and that's put that pressure. It ain't that slow ass motion pressure that Regis
Yeah.
Progress
Oh,
put on him.
geez.
He,
Yeah.
he's got good feet where he can close that distance, that gap quick with shuffling in faster. And when he does get close, he can make Haney a stationary target on the ropes or in the corner. And if he does that, man, Haney's going to probably smother him, tie him up. Haney's going to probably take do a lot of. He's going to have a wrestling coach in his camp to teach him how to tie him and grab him and all that. Yeah, he's going to have to, Joe.
Yep.
To tie him up, and they're going to probably have Kenny Bayless as a referee to allow it, and try to get it. Joe, they're going to probably have a 22 by 22 ring. All these things you're going to negotiate for, man, to get all the factors on your side.
Look, Gogue, there's no point even talking about that. He's never going to, like anyone who favors Haney and criticizes Tank. Guys, I don't see any difference. He's going to float between weight divisions, and he's going to pick and choose whatever style matchup is favorable to him. I don't see anything different than Tank, guys. So before you actually crown him as fighter of the year and pound for pound great, guys, it's no different. Look, his big wins are from Kambosos, a dubious victory, a questionable victory over Lomachenko at 35, and a favorable style matchup against Regis Prograis. Let's wait and see if he fights Teofimo Lopez or Subriel Matias before we crown him as pound for pound great, all-time great, and a masterpiece, a Da Vinci, right?
Let me see him do that to Matias. Let me see him do that to Lopez. Then I'll start. Okay. All right.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll put him in the top. I'll put him in the pound for pound top 5. But he ain't the best fighter pound for fuck no.
That's what I'm saying. Guys like Dan Raphael and whomever, they are stroking his Johnson right now. Like, oh, this was a masterclass. This was a blah, blah. Okay. So before we move forward, guys.
Hey, Joe.
Yes, sir.
I told you last week I didn't want to talk. Remember right before the show, I said, man, I don't want to talk about that.
That's why I didn't
be close.
That's why I didn't even mention a sexy bet. I couldn't find one. Yeah. One that was actually going to make you money. And the odds were justified, guys, as a minus 400 Devin Haney, right? Yeah. Well, let's say hello to our friends in the chat before we move forward. El Pinche. He said, late again? Yeah. Well, I've been sick. The coach, he's not to blame. Thank you for joining us, sir. Jesus M., thank you for joining us, sir. He says, saludos, coach. Regis took a dive for a payday. No, he just a terrible style matchup for him. Heck, Espinosa fought more with injury to ankle and won. We're going to talk all about that. We've been saving the best for last, my friend. Thank you for joining us, Jesus. Hey, G-Funky. He says, greetings, Joseph and Coach Gogue. Greetings to you, my brother. And guys, if you haven't already, please go subscribe to my brother G-Funky. My brother Outlaw. Merry Christmas to you, sir. He says, Jojo and Coach, thank you for joining us, sir. Juice, thank you for joining us. This is a great fan, guys, right here, Juice. He supports all boxing. Doesn't matter which platform, which promoter, which fighter. He promotes all boxing. He's a real diehard fan. Thank you, Juice, for being here, my friend. Says, salute to Warwick Radio, Coach and chat. Devin did awesome last week. He has inserted himself in the pound-for-pound conversation in Boxing Next Star. We'll see about that. I tell you what, you make a case for Boxing Next Star, though, because that crowd, Eddie Hearn did a fantastic job of creating that buzz in the Bay Area, and for a city not known to be a fight town, well, it sure looked like one. It resembled one this past weekend.
But I want to see what the pay-per-view, Joe, is. Find out, please.
Yes, sir. I gave a call to my guy. He hasn't contacted me back. I'm going to try harder tomorrow to get the accurate pay-per-view numbers for you guys, because I have no idea right now.
And what was the gate? They were saying it was a sellout, but okay, yeah. What was the gate? Okay.
Look, if it's a mainstream venue like that, the Chase Bank, they have to make tickets affordable to fill it. I would guess at the most, maybe a 1.52 million gate if everyone bought the tickets. But I'll find out. I'll give a call to the Commission of California tomorrow as well.
That's been pretty optimistic, man. That's a high figure.
Yeah, I'm being nice. But I will say no more than 2 million, I would say. Like I said, we'll find out, because the networks, Gogi, do they get a dime of the gate?
Yeah, what prices too? I like, I like to know all that stuff. Then I can figure it out in my head what the gate is.
Yeah, guys, and once again, I'll get the numbers tomorrow for everything. But yeah, my point is the networks, the guys who pay millions for the main event, the licensing fee, they don't get any of the revenue from the live gate. They need to start. Is someone need to start looking out for the network interest, because it really doesn't matter right now how well the fighters did and how well the promoter does, who gets on average 20% of everything. And with the racket Eddie's running, yeah, it's more than that. But I will say this: who's looking out for the network investment? Guys, the networks determine all of the dates, the TV dates, the network dates that these fighters compete on. And if no one is looking out for the network investment, I tell you what, people need to start, because after Showtime's exit from the sport, everyone is looking at, well, is this worth it now?
Yeah.
So fighters, promoters, fans, you guys all need to do your part if you want to see boxing again on 2024 and 2025.
Yeah.
Because everyone is pulling out the microscope. I warned you guys that this was going to be happen. What affects one platform affects everyone. This is a symbiont business. Okay? So thank you for joining us, Juice. And yes, he looked razor sharp, and he seems to be entering his fighting prime. G Funky says Ramirez versus Espinosa fight of the year, Gogue. We're going to get to that as soon as we finish. Saying hello to our dear friends in the chat. Low Clarity. welcome to the show, sir. He says, shit, we got James on camera. Good evening, all. Yes, sir. He's got his parka on. Boy, I bet you it's cold down in Leon in the mountains. Holy cow.
Fuck's cold.
And he says, yep, interested to hear what he thinks about Bam and Sonny. We're getting to that. That's our main event of the evening, guys. Gogi's big preview of the big unification bout at 112. And Khalid joined us. He says, welcome to the show, sir. Thank you for always being a part and supporting Gogi's program. He said, Joseph, do you know Regis's coach? Yeah, Bobby Benton and Aaron Novato are his two coaches.
That other guy, Julian Chu or something like that, they hired him.
Oh, that's right. He is his second, right?
Listen, I don't know why Regis hired that guy, man.
I don't know why either. He's not. Look, the Asian guy, that's who he's referring to. Every time he steps in and coaches a fighter, they get smoked.
That's true.
Yep.
Look at he trained Ramirez and he got drilled. He was totally clueless when he fought Bevo. He got his ass whooped. Now this one, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, where was I see? I didn't see that part of it. I didn't even watch the fight. I watched the highlights. Was Bobby Benton not in his corner?
He was there, but Bobby was, man, from what I was told, Regis, he had his camp a lot in LA, and Bobby didn't go there because Bobby got to run his gym,
Of course, Main Street Gym in Houston.
Yeah, so that guy was doing most of the work and everything. But why change, man? You got something good going on, all of a sudden you bring this guy aboard, man. Come on, man.
So I was going to say Bobby Benton is one of the most underrated trainers in boxing.
Yeah, he had
very smart.
He had 2 world champions last year, Regis and Oshaki Foster. Okay, he's doing something right.
Yeah, he's a very smart trainer. I've known him for 15 years. Since he was a young fighter when I met, or a young trainer when I met him.
I know Bobby when he first started training fighters.
Yep.
Back in 2003 or something. One of his first fighters was Lou Savarese. Yeah.
That's right. Big Lou.
Great guy.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, so Khalid, good eyes on you, brother. And yeah, I had no idea that he wasn't in Bobby Benton's camp. That's terrible. Well, that speaks volumes, and that makes a lot of sense now. Chief Funky goes, I covered a Thompson boxing card last year in November. Hey man, I almost slept in a ditch last night, man. I almost froze my balls off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was freezing, brother. Freezing. But let's see. Oh, this is interesting. Juice says, yeah, I got Devin over both Matias and Teofimo Lopez. Coach, your thoughts?
Yeah, man, That's something, in my, what, good point, Juice. Today last couple of days, I was thinking, to myself, how the fights will play out. I'm thinking, man, Devin might pull it off and everything, Then all of a sudden my mind changes the next day. I'm like, I don't know. It's going to be a different story. You know what I mean? Because the way he fought against Prograis, these guys have two totally different styles,
Yep.
Can he be that effective and execute that type of game plan against these guys like this? Different factors, baby.
With that kind of physical and mental pressure. Yeah, I have to see it to believe it. Yep. Because look, guys, Matias is a big, strong 140-pounder. He's not a 35, 36-year-old Lomachenko.
He's a big. I met him a couple of times in Mexico City at the shows there, and I was like, God damn, this dude is big. Oh, he's a big 30, 40-pounder.
Well, when you see Devin Haney, like in the gym, he looks massive. I couldn't believe he was still making 35. Yep. And there it is. And Jesus M as well as Juice, when they've got their like-minded, they said, yeah, Tank versus Haney is indeed the fight to make. Well, good luck, guys.
Fantasy land, baby.
Yep. And not enough tea in China or not enough gold in Fort Knox. Yeah, both guys would want to break the bank for that one.
Yeah.
Also want to welcome our brother, Brandon, the Boxing Scholar. Guys, if you haven't already, please go subscribe to my brother, Brandon. And he made it out to the event. It was cold, but it was so much fun, guys. He was there ringside. He caught all the action. Yeah, that was one of the, if not the best, that was one of the best cards that we had been a part of all year. It was so much fun from start to finish. Thank you for joining us, my friend. I look forward to seeing you at the 23rd at Dave & Buster's. We may have a very good chance. We may have a great Christmas gift for you there. Juice says, Bam versus Edwards will be a banger. Guys, we're running out of time. Espinosa versus Ramirez stole the night. Yes, they did. Let's hope not like a lot of people stole that pay-per-view on DAZN. So let's talk about it. Coach, did you see this one coming from the Charles City Center in Pembroke Pines, Florida? Oh, my word.
Honestly, Joe, everybody didn't know who this Mexican was. It
Rafael Espinosa from Guadalajara.
Yeah, I'm not good at remembering names, but I used to see that guy in the club scene show, doing them club shows in the Guadalajara club scene, boxing scene, and Guadalajara boxing club scene. Yeah, and man, I knew it would be a tough fight for Espinosa. And from what I was hearing in the gyms over there, that guy, he's 6'1", but he fights like he's 5'2". He's physical. He's aggressive. At the point of attack, he doesn't smother you and hold you. For a guy 6'1", fighting at 126, he puts his combinations together to the head, to the body, and he's always in top condition because he's always training. I heard he takes care of his body. He's totally committed and dedicated to the process of being a professional fighter, a world-class professional fighter. So, training in that high altitude of Guadalajara at 5,000 feet, sparring all them tough, bad motherfuckers all the time over there. Okay. And me watching him fight them, fights over there where he was knocking guys out, but I could see, man, he was big and strong for his weight. He wasn't 6'1" and frail and emaciated. He was physically strong. I said, man, this guy gonna give Robesi a hard problem, man, a hard time. That's what I was saying to myself. He's gonna give him a hard time, but like I said, he didn't fight. He really didn't fight no one of the significance to prepare him for a fight like this. Okay. So that's what was the main thing on my mind. You look at his record, like, yeah. But you look at his record, you think, man, this is not going to be a tough fight for Ramirez. But I knew from the Guadalajara club boxing scene and from, everybody I talked to, the fighters and everything, they were telling me about the guy, how he is in the gym. He's tall, he's physical. He puts his punches together round after round after round. So I knew it would be a tough fight, but I didn't think he would pull the upset. Not at 15-1 underdog. Nah.
Yep. Well, I tell you what, it was a greedy back and forth fight. And yeah, it's a shame that they had probably about the same amount of fans or less than we had in San Antonio. But I tell you what, nonetheless, Mr. Espinoza has his Rocky Balboa moment, steals the show, and puts forth a career best. I'm assuming a career best performance coming up from injury, fighting through injury to his ankle, and he would not be denied. And he wins on the scorecards of 113, 113, 114, 112, and 115, 111 for your winner and new WBO featherweight champion,
Joe,
Rafael Espinoza.
It was hunger. It was the fire in him. Okay, even though he lacked experience on fighting on this type of level, the world championship level, he had no experience fighting on this type of platform. But it was his hunger, his desire, the deep want in him to become champion. Okay, his conditioning. Okay, that won him the fight. The 10th, 11th, and 12th round, where he put his foot to the metal, where he just let it all out, and his punch volume output was the highest in them 3 rounds. He was letting his hands go, man. Yep. And the last round, where he needed really bad to win, he dropped him with that high volume punch pressure attack. 6'1" guy coming right at you, man, steamrolling you. And Ramirez, he didn't match his conditioning toughness. No, mostly conditioning couldn't match Espinosa. Okay, Ramirez is tough. Okay, he's resilient, but that conditioning wasn't there like Ramirez, where he was able to keep up with the high punch volume output of Espinosa. Nah, he folded, Joe. Okay, he folded. Yep.
You think he folded from that awesome pressure at the tail end of the fight?
Yeah, he folded at the very end. That pressure, that high punch volume punch attack, it started in the championship rounds, the 10th, 11th, and the 12th. It finally broke him down. He didn't have that conditioning like this dude did, man.
Oh boy, yeah, boy. I tell you what, it was something to behold. And guys, I had just wished I had seen it live, because you know what? That's the allure of boxing, guys. Seeing things live when it happens.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing else like it. Watching the replay after you know what already happens, it takes some of the luster off of it.
Hey, Espinosa, boy, not only leading with punches, putting this combination together, the body, head, body, but he was countering a lot too. Every time Robesi would throw one punch, he'd come back with one. You know what I mean? Just to keep one step ahead of him. You know what I mean? He basically, his game plan was basically, to be more hungry, to be more determined, to be more physical, to be more assertive, to be mentally tougher, to be what did I say? I said resilient, to be to have a higher degree of mental intestinal fortitude. Okay, to battle, to fight, and the 10th championship rounds. That's why they call them the championship rounds, where he needed to win. That's where he really put his foot to the metal, and full steam ahead, and just letting them combinations go. And Robesi couldn't keep up with this high punch volume punch attack. He didn't have that conditioning like this guy did. Yeah.
And there it is. And there it is, guys.
Great fight, a real fight of the year, upset of the year. And now Rafael Espinosa, who was a pro for 10 years here, we're saying, had only like 11 amateur fights. Now he, you know what I mean? That 10 years, man, he could, he turned pro in 2013, motherfucker. You know what I mean? He paid his dues.
Paid his dues. And I tell you what, this is why we watch, guys. Boxing is the genuine theater of the unexpected. And you see this every once in a while, a guy having his Rocky Balboa moment, and all the hard work. It's the purging of everything. the suffering, the work ethic, the dedication, staying patient and believing in yourself. Yeah, we saw it all come to a head on Saturday night. And damn it, I missed it live. I tell you what, that's why we watch, though, guys. Boxing is the only sport in which you see something like this happen. Someone just putting in all the work without anyone in your corner. And he believes in himself. And he finally gets the opportunity. And he takes advantage of it. And there was no denying this kid, obviously.
Hey, Joe, I was shocked, man. Because I had a fight that night. So when I heard when they told me Bessie Ramirez lost, I go, what? But I was surprised because I knew, like I said, I knew who Espinosa was. So what happened was, as soon as I got home, I watched the fight. I'm like, Eesh. That's what I was seeing. That's what I was seeing when he fought, when he was knocking out everybody in Guadalajara or the Mexican boxing minor league system. And that's what I heard. How he fights in the gym, you know what I mean? That he's strong, he's physical, he puts his punches he puts his punches together. The combination punches are consistently round after round after round. Yeah. I'm like, ooh, he's in a tough fight. That Ramirez.
Well, I tell you what, congratulations though to Rafael Rafael Espinosa, who is now the WBA featherweight champion.
W.A.W.
Or W.W. My apologies. And congratulations to Xander Zayas, who came up big in the co-main event. Coach, is he ready to take the next step up?
Who, Zayas?
Yep, Xander Zayas.
He's fighting that Patrick, that ex-WBO champ, Patrick Teixeira. I don't know.
Teixeira.
Teixeira. Brad knows what the fuck he's doing. And Bruce knows what the fuck you're doing. Yeah, he's ready.
Also, congratulations to Bruce Shoo Carrington for taking care of business. And you know, there's so much I like about Shoo Carrington. This is a really special kid. Very well spoken, very charismatic, takes care of business, doesn't cut any corners in the gym. Yeah, he looks really, really good, guys, at his respective weight division. I'm just hoping he gets a big opportunity in 2024. Let's see. Any other standouts? Congratulations. Well, Jahai Tucker got a majority draw. Oh, boy.
It was a great fight, though.
Well, he's always in a great fight. Let's just hope he can keep it together and to decide what weights he wants to actually compete in. Yeah. Chingao. And congratulations to Ricardo Torres, a.k.a. Greg Brady. For taking care of business. And moving his undefeated record to 8-0. I'll tell you what, Coach, are you ready for this Saturday night's main event on DAZN? Oh boy, we got Bam Rodriguez against Sonny Edwards in a unification at 112 pounds. And Coach, once again, Sonny Edwards earlier this week was complaining that ticket sales were shit in Phoenix, Arizona, only selling about 4,000 seats at this point. Coach, whose fault is that?
Put it in the wrong place. They should have had it in San Antonio. They should have had it in England. But both fighters, they didn't want that to happen, so they put it in a neutral venue, which was Phoenix. But that's what's going to happen, man. When you have a great fight and you don't have it in the right location, it ain't going to be a great fight. So no,
a hot fight is only a hot fight if you put in the right venue.
Don
always taught us. Yep.
Yeah, Don Chargan always told me that. Yeah.
Yep, that's it, guys. And well, look, it is what it is. But hopefully he learns his lesson on this. Look, if he can persuade the boxing public to get high on a mismatch like Haney versus Prograis, surely he convince one of the fighters, and preferably Sonny Edwards, to take this fight in San Antonio. Come on now. That's your job. And look, you've always said, and Don always said, the toughest part of matchmaking is convincing the fighters that it's a good idea to take this fight on these conditions.
Well, nowadays it is.
Boy, it's a virtual impossibility at times, Coach. Yeah. I mean, And look,
back then it was tough, but it got done. Now it's damn near impossible, for these type of fights to get done.
Yep. And guys, it even goes on at the club level. Like last week was torturous for me. Really, it was, and yeah, it's probably why I'm so sick right now. But guys, let's rattle off the tail of the tape for the current IBF flyweight champion, Sonny Edwards. His showtime. He's going to come into the ring at age 27. He fights out of the orthodox stance, standing 5'3" tall in the center of the ring. Chingao. He fights behind a 60-inch reach. From London, England, he comes into the ring with a perfect record, 20 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws, 4 big wins coming by way of knockout. Coach Gogue, what's there to like about Sonny Edwards?
His movement, okay? His ability to move side to side, in and out, move at angles, move in circles. And he could do it for 12 fucking rounds. A fighter like that has the ability to move and box and counter punch, difficult style to deal with. He can't crack an egg, but his strength is his feet. Not being a stationary target, because Bam, good puncher. Good puncher has to set himself. But if he can't set himself and he's always chasing his target, he's not going to get a chance to set his feet.
That's it.
When Bam can't set his feet, he ain't going to be able to get into rhythm to get that momentum built up to start, applying his offensive attack. But it's Edwards, boy. He could change directions on a dime. Barry Sanders, change directions. He'll boom, boom. He'll move this way, then all of a sudden he'll move this way. He'll pivot around you. He'll move in, he'll move out. You know what I mean? He's like trying to catch a fly with your hand, Joe, with your trying to catch it like this. Man, it's a very difficult style, man. Yeah, it's not the prettiest, but hey, everybody has their style. And that style, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to make him a stationary target. That's what Bam wants to do. But that Charlie, his ability to box, to move in circles at angles and everything. Look, Joe, I haven't studied the fight. I didn't even know their motherfuckers were fighting until you told me, man.
Oh boy.
And I'm just going in my head. I remember.
Yeah, you know what, Coach? And a lot of the movement, the way he fights, it almost looks like a 112 version of Yuri Foreman, where it's very awkward and very difficult to catch at times.
Yeah.
And it's doesn't make for great TV, but it's ultra effective most of the time.
And Bam's going to really have to use his feet, okay? Not plotting, but he's going to have to shuffle in fast, okay? Without catching incoming, with that jab or that quick right hand or the uppercut or the sharp combinations, okay? Then Edwards is going to move, box, move, in and out, in circles, staying off the ropes, staying out of the corners, trying to keep everything in the center of the ring, man. That's tough. He's got the feet to do it, Joe. He's got the feet to do it for 12 rounds, man. But that's what I remember. But Joe, I haven't studied the fight. I just know how he fights and everything, and I know how Bam fights. So,
yep. And this is
what I'm doing is I'm talking about the strategy on what he has to do to win. You know what I mean?
And there it is. We'll get to that in just a second, guys. Let's look at the tail of the tape for Jesse Bam Rodriguez. Look, let's rattle off the tail of the tape first, guys. Bam Rodriguez is going to come to the ring at age 23, and he just became a dad this year. We'll see if that makes a difference. He comes into the ring with he fights out of the southpaw stance. Stands 5'4" tall in the center of the ring. He fights behind a 67-inch reach. Born and raised in the Alamo City of San Antonio, Texas. He comes into the ring with a perfect record. 18 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws, 11 big wins coming by way of knockout. Coach Gogue, this seemingly is a very difficult style matchup because of everything that you just stated. But what is there to like about Bam Rodriguez going into this fight?
Boy, he's improved over the years, okay? He's improved his footwork. He's improved his his combination punching. He uses angles beautifully now when he gets close to you. When he throws combinations, he just doesn't headhunt. He mixes it up and down and up, and he does it creatively. He's a very, very good body puncher. You know what I mean? He's got a good professional style, man. Okay.
Yep.
He's got good mechanics and technique on how he delivers his punches. You know what I mean? When he gets inside, boy, he rips those body shots. He steps at angles, which he never did before. You know, all this stuff I see, Joe. And yeah, the kid, ooh, very talented. Yeah, very talented. But you know, I don't know how he behaves between fights and how hungry he stays and how committed he stays to the process of getting better between fights, keeping his weight down, keep all the skills he has, keeping him sharp and learning new stuff. You know, I know he lets his weight get high. Okay, that to me right there is a lack of discipline. Okay, a lack of laziness, a lack of focus, stuff like that.
Yep.
So, you know, all that stuff has into play. See, Joe, when you go into these fights, if he loses, he didn't lose this fight in the ring. He lost it in the prior time before this fight, not taking care of business between fights. You know, like I said, he might have a problem. You know, he blows up. What do you call it? Real heavy. So can he make weight? We'll see.
We'll find out this week, guys, and that's why I brought up the pregnancy, the childbirth. Now that's always a blessing. It's a glorious event, but if you're a prize fighter, don't let the situation get the better of you. You've got to stay focused, especially when you're being challenged by a legitimate champion like Sonny Edwards, with a very awkward style. And Joe, that's something. Go ahead, James. My apologies.
His fucking brother, man. Okay.
Yep.
Didn't make weight. Last couple fights, I can't remember. He had his issues, and that's a lack of discipline. You know what I mean? I try to tell my motherfucking fighters now, man. You got to stay disciplined between the fights.
You do.
And not let your weight go up high. Okay, control what goes in your mouth. Don't eat everything in sight like you want to. You know, you're a professional fighter, man. You got to be disciplined to the process. After the fight's done, you got to recommit yourself to the process of being a professional fighter, man. And that's where a lot of fighters lose it. As soon as they win a good fight, they forget about the commitment. They forget to refocus and recommit themselves to the process. Oh, it's time to get ready for a fight. Okay, I'll start training. Well, how about the 3 months that you didn't fight, you didn't do shit, or you let your weight get too high.
That's it. Yep. That's a great point. And look, I spoke with Bam's father, Jesse, as well as his brother, Josh Franco. And Josh was just in camp with his brother, helping him train, helping him spar, that sort of thing. And boy, he had a ton of great sparring at the Robert Garcia Boxing Academy in Riverside. Yeah,
but did he have the type of sparring that you need? A guy that can move in and out in circles, using the whole ring, okay, for 12 rounds. You know, to get him, Joe, that's a difficult style to fight, man. When you're fighting guys that are, on you, when you're fighting guys that stay in front of you, that's easy, because they're easy to hit. But when you got a guy that moves and keeps on giving you consistent movement, and man, that throws your timing and rhythm off. And if you don't get that type of work in the gym, you go in the fight, you're not going to be accustomed to that type of that type of style. So you got to get the right movement, the guy with movement, the guy that can move, give you that movement. So Bam could first, right here, footwork. Okay, work on his footwork to close that distance, to cut off his escape routes, to get him pinned in the corners or on the ropes and everything, without taking a lot of incoming too. You know what I mean? That's the first thing I do when I know we're fighting a guy that has good movement. Work on the footwork, work on cutting off the ring, working on closing the gap, work on when you're closing the gap, not taking incoming. Okay. Yeah.
That's it. And look, I've been watching this kid since the amateurs, as you have as well. Yeah. Gogue. And that's his only, he looks extraordinary. Yeah. If you sit in the pocket and trade with him.
Yeah.
He looks like an elite pound for pound badass. But as soon as he has to go cut off the ring and close the distance effectively, you start to see, he's not that great at it. And in my opinion, Gogue, I don't know what you think yet, but in my opinion, this fight is going to look awfully eerily similar to Yuri Foreman versus Daniel Santos all those years ago.
It might be similar to Regis Progress and Haney.
No, he's not that bad. He's not that deficient in that area. But yeah, it's gonna, guys. I'm afraid that Sonny Edwards is going to exploit all of Bam's shortcomings in those areas.
If he didn't get the right sparring, if he didn't prepare the right way in strategy, okay.
Yeah. Yep. I'm very, very leery of this matchup. And I told his dad as much, and he goes, well, look, we trust Coach Garcia, and yeah, we're rolling dice, and yeah, but we don't like this matchup, but it was great opportunity that we couldn't turn down. Yeah. And so, yeah, we're going to roll the bones and see what happens. So, guys,
we'll see what happens. Pressure him.
That's it.
Yeah. Yep. How is he going to? This is where the skill comes in on how to pressure your opponent. Pressure your opponent the correct way. Closing that gap without taking a lot of incoming, cutting off his escape routes, trying to pin him on the ropes, okay, or in the corners, cutting off his angles and all that shit. You know what I mean? That's everything starts with his footwork, that Edwards guy, from what I've seen. Yeah, from what I've seen. Yeah, he's got good footwork. He's got good footwork.
Yep, he has exceptional footwork.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens, though, guys. And, geez, before we actually, get Gogue's prediction, let's take a look at the betting odds going into this fight on Saturday in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm sorry, technically Glendale, Arizona, correct? Oh, geez. Yeah, I'm still really pissed off about that. I should be talking about and going and visiting the final press conference, getting interviews with all of these fighters. But no, this is going to be taking place in the greater Phoenix area. But guys, odds going into this fight. Bam Rodriguez is still listed as a sizable but competitive betting favorite. He's a minus 225, and Sonny Edwards is listed as a plus 200. I can already tell you guys what I'm betting on, and I love the Rodriguez family.
What were the odds? So I missed you. Sorry.
Minus 225 for Bam Rodriguez and a plus 200 for Sonny Edwards.
Okay.
Now, guys, once again, maybe they're looking at home field advantage, but when you look at the style matchup, this is a terrible one for Bam Rodriguez. This is his only ostensive chink in the armor, from what the eyes tell you. I don't know if he's going to be able to overcome this, but once again, it's going to be in Phoenix, Arizona. I don't know what judges are going to even have for this yet.
Yeah.
So that's going to play a huge part in determining the winner of this fight, because guaranteed there's not going to be a knockout in this one. I can already tell you this. But if I'm just going with my gut, I'm taking the straight up victory for Sonny Edwards at a plus 200. In my opinion, he wins this one overwhelmingly and makes it look easy, because Bam does not cut off the ring and close the distance effectively.
Like I said, Joe, I didn't even know they were fighting until you brought it up, man. I was just talking about, but honestly, man, a fight like this, me personally, I would have to do research on Bam if he fought opponents that moved a lot and how he did against them. If he applied the right strategy to cut that movement up, to keep him a stationary target. Did he apply the right strategy to close that gap without taking a lot of incoming? And did he apply the right strategy, to pin him on the ropes or in the corners? I got, that's something. If I see it in his prior fights, I said, okay, he knows how to do it. He got it going on. He should be able to do it to a guy like this. But I like I said, I haven't seen him spar. And if he's sparring his brother don't move like Charlie.
Nope. Well, he sparred I look, and it's one of the problems when you're faced with a guy like Tyson Fury, or faced with a guy like Devin Haney, or faced with a guy like Sonny Edwards. Who are you going to fly in, or who are you going to recruit to show you those similar looks? You can't. And that's what my big dilemma is. And honestly, I think this is going to be a horror show and a very frustrating fight for Bam Rodriguez. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, we'll see.
Gogue, what is your official prediction, or would you like to wait until the weigh-in or Friday or something?
Honestly, Joe, I had no idea they were fighting, man. I usually give my prediction because okay, yeah, like that Haney and what's the guy, Progress. Yeah,
Yep.
man. I didn't even need to study that. This fight right here, because, man, it's I need more information. Okay,
Yep.
not just what's in my head on watching them, on seeing them fight before. I would have to study it more. I'm just telling you this. The strategies both fighters need to apply to win the fight. Edwards, I talked about it, his movement and all that.
Yep.
Keep everything in the center of the ring. That's going to be the fucking key. He controls the center of the ring, baby. He has the real estate to operate the whole ring, the space. Now, what's his name is going to have to make it fight in close quarters, small space, a majority of the times. That means he's going to have to, use his footwork, fast pressure, to track down this Edwards, because he's slippery as fuck. Okay, like I said, he has the ability to change directions like Barry Sanders on a dime. He'll go right, then all of a sudden he'll go left, then all of a sudden he'll go right, then he'll pivot around you, and you're like, Jesus, you never could get your feet set to put those combinations together, man.
Yep.
So, and bottom line, Joe, who's going to win? Who executes their game plan better? Strategy, I just said. Okay, if Edwards could do it for 8 rounds, 7 rounds, who win the fight? If Bam Rodriguez could do it for 7 rounds, who win the fight? That's all you got to do, Joe, is beat him by win 7 rounds, and you win the fight.
Well, I will say this, now, once again, let's make it official, guys. Gogue is passing on this prediction. He doesn't feel that he knows enough or has seen enough to actually be comfortable in making a prediction, but I'm going to do it right now. I am. Once again, this is on Gogue's show, but this is all me, right? In my opinion, unless Sonny Edwards blows out his knee like Yuri Foreman did against Miguel Cotto, Bam has little to no chance of getting a decision. He will have to win by knockout. And how do you beat this guy by knockout? You can't catch him. In my opinion, Bam is going to lose a very, awkward, ugly fight decision. And it's not going to be one that's fun to watch, guys.
Well, Joe, look, in my mind, thinking about this fight, my mind says Charlie has the ability to keep executing his game plan longer and more effective than Bam Rodriguez through most of the fight. Then in my other part of the brain is saying, no, I think Bam has the ability to execute his game plan for longer and be more effective during the duration of the fight. So, it's like, that's why, the fight's pretty much a 2-1. It's pretty much even. You know what I mean?
Well, in my opinion, Coach, and this is just my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. Sonny Edwards is going to be winning this fight on the scorecards overwhelmingly. And if Bam has any chance of winning this fight, the only way he does is knocking him out in the late rounds. When he starts to slow down and you start to see him be a more stationary target, that's when Bam needs to take advantage of it. In my opinion, I would bet a straight-up victory for Sonny Edwards. And let's take a look at the
1 second, Joe.
Yes, sir. Let's take a look at the group round betting, right? So I would straddle it. Hold on. Let's see. It's not coming up right now. I need to wait for my computer. Thank you, Google Fiber. Chingao. No, I tell you what, start of the new year, guys, I'm going to have to get better internet service. Jeez. Okay. Let's see. All right. Guys, can you hear me? Am I okay? Well, I guess I'm still on. Let's see. Oh, boy. All right. No, still waiting.
1 second, Joe. My battery's going low, so I got to plug it in.
Hold on. Let me try to switch over real quick, okay? But in my opinion, I'll try to wait and see if my computer actually starts cooperating. In my opinion, guys, I don't like this matchup at all. I told Jesse, Bam's father, this a long time ago. I said, you better make it worth it if you guys take on this fight, because this is not a style that traditionally Bam is well proficient at taking. He doesn't look good against these guys. Jesse said, "Hey, we're confident, and we believe in Bam. We believe in Coach Garcia, and we have faith that he's putting him in position to where he can cut off the ring and close the distance effectively."
Shit, he's gonna get a good payday right before Christmas. That's great. Shit.
Well, he better get something, because this is a style that's going to be all wrong for Bam.
Huh. Well, Joe, as a fighter, you got to be able to defeat all styles. So, let's see if you can do it.
That's it. Guys, we'll see what happens. Once again, this is the theater of the unexpected. Anything can and often does happen, as we saw on ESPN. But that played out sometimes like we think, like it did on DAZN. But that was a real look, guys. This is how terrible that style matchup was on DAZN, right? Now we saw a real snoozer in Shakur Stevenson, in which, how many punches did Edwin de los Santos land? He set a record, and it was broken already this past Saturday, with Regis Prograis only landing 38 punches over 12 rounds.
Yeah.
Guys, in my opinion, Bam doesn't land too many more. He may land about 60 or 50 over 12 rounds. I don't like this. I told them when they made this fight, I don't like this fight for you guys. And they said, well, it's it was offered. We are going to make X amount of dollars, and we just have to roll the bones. Credit to him for, not shying away from the greatest challenge in and around his weight division. But yeah, this is going to considerably lower his market value, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm being the pessimist, maybe, but for good reason, guys, going into this fight.
Yeah, man, but yeah, it's a good payday right before Christmas, and that's what you're in this motherfucking business for, is to get paid.
Yeah. Well, guys, once again, my strategy would be to bet on Sonny Edwards for a plus 200, right? And to straddle it with a late round stoppage for Bam Rodriguez. That would be my betting strategy. And that's all I have right now, guys. Coach, is there anything more you'd like to discuss? Because I am really under the weather right now.
No. They got the Showtime fight this week with Morrell. Then they got Sonny Edwards next week. Yeah, holidays, baby.
Yep. Well, I will say this. Look for David Morrell Jr. once again to put on a demolition job over the overmatched Sina Agbeko, Ronnie Shields' former fighter. He knows exactly what Sina Agbeko brings to the table. And trust me, they're going to exploit it.
Okay.
That's all you have to know. And making it even more difficult for him to get a substantial fight and a substantial payday moving forward. This is one of the things I can't stand about boxing, Coach Gogue. Like, if you can't sell tickets, everyone can avoid you. Everyone.
Yeah.
I can't stand that about this. And this is what makes it a business, guys, not a sport. Like, anyone who says, oh, we like to talk about the sport of boxing. Well, then you like to live in fantasy land. Because boxing stopped being treated like a sport as soon as the IBF was made, and we had 3 sanctioned organizations in the 80s. Then everyone started actually playing the politics and started avoiding each other. Am I wrong about that, Gogue?
Yeah. Well, it was good when we had 2, then 3 came aboard, and all of a sudden 4. Oh, Jesus.
Yep.
Crazy. Then all them interim titles and all that other bullshit. Yeah.
Yep. Well, I tell you what, though. Is there anything that you'd like to talk about now, or have we come to the end of the line?
I don't know, man. We pretty much ran out of everything. I mean,
Yeah.
holidays.
No. Like, we can always bring up mythical matchups because we love hearing you talk about mythical matchups.
Yeah, some other show, man. You know, shit, I've been on the air for like an hour and a half. That's good enough.
Yeah, an hour and 20 minutes we've been on the air, guys, and so that's going to be it. And I'm getting ready to take some more NyQuil and see if that helps. Jeez.
Just thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in and tune in next week, baby. Yeah.
Guys, and I tell you what, Coach, I'm going to be talking to you later on this evening. I'm going to be crunching some numbers and see if we can make happen. I think it would be a great event. But guys, if you're in the South Texas area, once again, please come and show up to Dave and Buster's. We're expecting a packed house to watch the Day of Reckoning. And then immediately following, we may have a very big surprise for you. Guys, but on behalf of James Gogue, I'm Joseph Herron. You've been listening to War a Week Boxing. Have a great evening, everybody.
Holdings proudly presents War Week Radio with 5-decade fight trainer, Coach James Gogue.